Kenneth Murray Jr. announced that he is entering the NFL draft, and we got to talk about it after the bump.
Don't be cornering me. Hold up. Time. You got to help me with that corner
What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I'm not on a step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always college football related, sports related. We have a good time. And today, we need to talk about K9 choosing to enter the NFL draft early. Now, I am going to blow my own horn here because, as Jimmy Breslin said, if you do not blow your own trumpet, there is no music. I told you for the last 3 years that Kenneth Murray Jr. was an absolute dude and an absolute dog. And after 3 years at Oklahoma, he's had over 300 tackles. This season alone, he had 17 and a half tackles for loss and 4 sacks as the middle linebacker in Alex Grinch's defense, making it happen for two different coordinators, 3 if you want to count Ruff and McNeil, in 2 different schemes. He had 102 tackles this year after last year having 155, including 28 against Army, and his speed and athleticism are superpowers. I made an upload earlier this week where he was slotted by Bleacher Report draft analyst and noted Texas fan Matt Miller as a first-round draft pick to the Green Bay Packers. I said that I didn't agree with his assessment of Kenneth Murray Jr.'s strengths, and I don't think there's an acknowledgement that Green Bay plays a lot of dime and a lot of dollar coverage, which is a lot more defensive backs and linebackers that can cover in space. But if you're looking at Zadarius Smith and you're going, I wonder who the comp is in college, you might be looking at Kenneth Murray Jr. You've seen the closing speed all season, particularly against De'Aaron King, who might have been the most talented quarterback not named Joe Burrow that Oklahoma faced all season. He was running him down. He was running down Charlie Brewer. He was making it happen beside DaShaun White. There's really not a whole lot that was left for Kenneth Murray Jr. to do at Oklahoma after having been a captain, after being a Butkus Award semifinalist, after really digging in and learning the defense and selling out for a first-year position coach at Oklahoma in Brian Odom and an Alex Grinch. He was the most valuable player on the defense for Oklahoma. When he was off the field, you could see what Oklahoma was, with Brian Meade coming in to spell him, among others, and also in a year where you don't really have the services of Caleb Kelly at all. And I'll touch on him in a minute. But I want to round this out by saying Kenneth Murray Jr. graduated from the University of Oklahoma. Unless he was going to get better at reading reading offenses and understanding scheme, and his instincts get to be better, there's no reason for him to stay around, because right now he's probably going to test as a first-round draft pick with his speed and his measurements. But what you see on film might make you hesitate a little bit. And Dylan Moses announcing that he was going to return to Alabama made it easier for Kenneth Murray Jr. go into the draft, because there's one fewer linebacker that you'd have to evaluate against in a shallow draft for linebackers, so that's better for Kenneth Murray. However, Dylan Moses' dad, who's an attorney, dropped a note and release today saying, hey, we're not done with this. He took out insurance last year that said it loss of value, and we're going to see what that means for his return. And I love this note in there. It says His Majesty does not have the power to make unilateral decisions. He actually has to consult his parents, and apparently he didn't before he posted this really cool graphic to his Instagram one night. Return of Alex Leatherwood also makes Alabama really interesting, with Tua Tagovailoa going to announce what he's going to do next Monday. You could go either way with him and how much he really loves playing quarterback at Alabama, and his draft stock also is not going to get any higher than it is, dislocated hip or not. Now, with Kenneth Murray Jr. entering the draft, that brings into focus DaShaun White, who I think is going to become Oklahoma's new tackling machine. Just Bobby Boucher, tackling fuel. Because that dude had 51 tackles this season, but he is going to break out next season. I've had the pleasure of interviewing him on the channel. You can dig through that, RJ Young, DaShaun White, in the search bar, because YouTube is a search engine. But he played outside linebacker at Richland, came up to Oklahoma, was moved inside, and has blossomed, really. In more than one way, he's actually a more dependable linebacker than Kenneth Murray Jr. was from an instincts basis. Matter of fact, Brian Odom said DaShaun White is the most instinctual linebacker that I've ever coached, which is wildly cool praise. And if you're able to pair him with Caleb Kelly, who I believe is going to return for his last season in Oklahoma, I know there's still the outside chance that he could go in the NFL draft early, but seeing as he lost a season, and he really doesn't have great film to show, he also would be getting drafted on pure athleticism, and I don't know that he's going to test in the way that Kenneth Murray Jr. is going to test. and he would need to get about 15 pounds heavier to really play absolute linebacker at the next level. Right now, he's still more of a box safety to me. I look at Caleb Kelly and I see Cam Chancellor. All right, I see a dude that is basically going to be a third linebacker in a nickel scheme, but also could help you out in pass coverage, is awesome off the edge, and really could seek and destroy as a will linebacker next to DaShaun White, and I love that pairing. Also brings into focus the depth that Oklahoma has. I know that there are folks that are bullish on Brian Asamoah and what he's able to do, but he has a lot more bust than you would like. Same thing with Brian Meade. Ryan Jones and what they're going to do with him, who's slotted as a will linebacker, but we've seen him with his hand on the ground, rushing the passer. We also need to take into account Brendan Walker, who could go inside and outside, and you got some versatility there, along with Shane Witter, who could be a sneaky good get, especially at the second level for Oklahoma, and what Alex Grinch is trying to build and what he's going to ask those inside linebackers to do. I actually really love the idea of DaShaun White being the leader of this defense because I think that he has the pedigree, and I also think he has the demeanor to make it work, and he understands scheme, and he understands fits. I mean, he's just got it like that. One of the things that he said during the preseason was he was so excited that they went to a four-man front because the defensive linemen were doing such a better job of keeping him clean to make tackles, and that's a big part of what the three-man front was supposed to do under Mike Stoops and wasn't getting done. Guys were getting off blocks and obliterating linebackers. You're going to see a 300-pound guard go up against a 225-pound linebacker. You know who's going to win that, who's going to lose it. Whereas with the four-man front, you're soaking up more of that pressure, and you get the freedom of DaShaun White and Kenneth Murray Jr. to fit in between the tackles and to chase guys down as they're trying to move laterally and really get them in the backfield. So I'm bullish on what DaShaun White is going to do in this system and in the scheme. I think he's going to double his output from 51 tackles to over 100 in the 2020 season, and Alex Grinch's defense will continue to build. Like everybody else, I assume, on this channel, I'm wishing Kenneth Murray Jr. well. It has been a great pleasure to watch him play football at Oklahoma and to talk about what he's been able to do on the field, but also off it. He is one of the class human beings on this team, and he's going to leave it in a really awesome legacy at Oklahoma as the first middle linebacker to start at Oklahoma since 1975 as a true freshman. He had his growing pains as a true freshman as well, but also played in the Rose Bowl, won a Big 12 championship, played in the Orange Bowl, won a Big 12 championship, played in a Peach Bowl, Oklahoma's first, won a Big 12 championship. He's one of those guys that's going to have gone through his entire career at Oklahoma without ever knowing what it means not to win a Big 12 championship. All right, that is it for me. Deuces.